Assalamu alaikum to everyone and welcome to SIPD Rashidabad. Today we have a session on building students' vocabulary through textbook reading. And I hope everybody has joined us. And let's kick off. So in this workshop, in this online webinar, we are going to learn about different types of reading resources from textbooks. We do have a lot of resources available. We may not know about them and how those resources are going to help them. We're going to learn all of that. We are also going to learn the importance of reading to build up students' vocabulary. Why reading is so much important to build up vocabulary. That's what we are going to learn. And we're going to learn some teaching techniques to use the textbooks to build up students' vocabulary. So we will be doing all that in this workshop. And I would like your participation and contribution throughout this webinar. So let's start. So let's, before we go ahead, we would like to start with the resources. So what are the possible resources we have for improving student vocabulary, the textbook resources? So it can not only be the English textbook, it can also be science, social studies, general knowledge, or any content-based subject, but they must be in English. So the science book in English, social studies book in English, general knowledge books in English, they all are great resources for us to improve students' vocabulary. And we're going to talk about it. Why? If you have any questions, do let me know. If you are already practicing it, and you also can let me know whether you use the science books in English to teach students sort of English, or you just use the English textbook to teach English. So the next step, first, if we go through these things, the next step is why textbook reading? So why textbook reading? Any ideas? Textbook. If you have any ideas, do share with me in the chat box. We will have some collaborative learning experience. Yes, I got some comments here. The textbooks can be helpful to improve students' vocabulary because it can give them real life experience. Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you. The textbooks can give us real life experience. And let's look at some of the reasons I have for textbook to improve students' vocabulary. The first is it's part of syllabus. So we cannot deny Facebook, the textbooks. I'm saying Facebook, that's very common. People are not closer to textbook, they are nearer to Facebook, but they need to be closer to textbook because it's a part of their syllabus. So it's an already available resource. We don't need to ask the students to buy some new books or materials to improve their vocabulary. This is what they already have. If they're already studying biology, chemistry, social studies and other content-based subjects in English, they are great source to improve English. And let me include English book as well. Yes, we do have English textbooks as well. So all of the content available in those books are great source. So they're already available. Yes, they provide experiential learning, as we already talked about it. In what sense it provides experiential learning? It's actually, if you look at the learning experiences, we learn through experience. Language cannot be learned in isolation. Keep this in mind. We need to be in a real life situation. We need to be mentally, emotionally engaged in a situation to learn a language. And how textbooks are going to give you real life experience. We can teach English vocabulary. At the same time, we can teach them some content. For example, being a science teacher, I want to teach my students digestive system, and it's one of the chapters in my textbook. I choose it. I want my learner to understand the digestive system described in the book. But there are some blocking words. Due to those words, my students may not be able to comprehend what the book is teaching them. So what I do, I design an activity through which I teach them vocabulary. And after learning vocabulary, I want them to understand this particular concept and then come back and have discussion with their classmates and share their ideas. So that's how they're going to have experiential learning. Not only will they be learning vocabulary, they will also be learning digestive system. So we're killing two birds with one arrow. You're not learning vocabulary in isolation. You're learning vocabulary in a real life situation. You're learning vocabulary with a purpose, right? So helpful to improve spellings. We do watch a lot of movies, a lot of YouTube lectures to improve our English. We come across a lot of new words and start using them. That's a very cool thing. You know, we come across new words, we start using those words, but we may not know how to spell them. But when we read the textbooks to improve the vocabulary, we learn new words from textbooks. We experience spelling as well. So we get the visualization of the word spellings, due to which when it comes to writing, we don't misspell the words. So a lot of times when we learn words from movies, from videos where we don't have the exposure of the spellings, we make spelling mistakes in writing because we have never seen the word, we only heard the word. So the reading is going to give you an exposure. The students get exposure of the spelling so that they improve their spelling at the same time. Purposeful vocabulary learning. So as I already discussed, experiential learning. So the actual purpose of learning vocabulary is to understand the content. If students are learning a social studies chapter about climate change, they need to have certain vocabulary to understand that chapter. If they don't have those words, they might not understand the topic, they might not understand the concept, the idea behind climate change. So they might not understand the vocabulary. I mean, they might not understand the whole concept. That's the thing. So that's why when we teach them vocabulary related to climate change, so that they understand the whole concept of climate, their learning of vocabulary becomes purposeful because they're learning vocabulary for understanding that particular concept. So whatever you're teaching is not needless. It is much, much needed. And that's the reason that the learners get to learn the words purposefully. So we never teach them anything without a purpose. So moving on, we have now the techniques to use text for vocabulary building. So we learned about the importance of um, textbooks to improving vocabulary. And now let's see how we do it actually. So there are many techniques. I cannot share all of the techniques in this webinar. Maybe we have some more webinars in future. For that, I will share a couple of techniques that I usually use in my classroom. I hope you enjoy all of them. The first thing you need to do is selecting a reading text. Yeah, without selecting a text, you cannot teach vocabulary. So we need to have a text from our textbooks. So let's see, as I have extracted one text from Syntax Book Board book, that is Human Digestive System. And there is some text about digestive system. What I did, I selected some words. So what I did, after selecting the text, we need to have, we need to choose a task actually. So what we want from the students need to do a task. So you can give them a couple of questions, comprehension questions, which will be the proof of a student's understanding the text. Okay, or you can give them a KWL chart. One of our participants has just reminded us, KWL chart, that is what I know, what I want to learn, and what I have already, what I already know, what I want to learn, what I have learned actually. So let me show you the chart. You can just write KWL on the website and you will find the chart here. So this can be a very good way to assigning students a task so that they understand. So what they already know about the digestive system, then this one. What I know, what I already know about digestive system, then what I want to know, and after that, what I have learned from this chapter that I previously did not know. We can assign such task. Then we know that there will be some words which will hurdle students' understanding. So we need to teach those words. So I selected a couple of words. I didn't select so many words just to demo some words. And how I'm going to teach, you can see that as well. But the main thing is that you can choose the words on your own according to your students' level and needs. So I just chose these 4 phrases, not words actually, phrases. Okay, so I'm going with the reversal approach. I won't teach the students vocabulary. I will not teach them vocabulary. I will give them the meaning, ask for the word. So it's a reversal approach. Usually what we do, we give them the word, ask for the meaning, or we give them the word, give them the definition, that's it. But here, what we're gonna do, I will give the definition and ask for the word. So I think you have had a look at these 4 phrases. You can have a look at them again if you have not, because we're moving forward. After that, I'm going to ask. So the first word, the first phrase, I'm using the meaning, asking for the word, the phrase. You need to tell. Fine. So to change from one thing to another. Any ideas? Which word does it refer to? I've already shown you the actual phrases. Yeah, very good comment I just got. To convert from convert into something else. Yeah, convert something into. Yes, that's to convert something into. We have it. Yeah, number two. Good. Let's see the next. It's okay. This time I don't show you the definition. Just show you the picture because it's a concrete noun. So what is it? Any ideas? You've seen the words actually there. A piece of bread. Good answer. Correct answer. A piece of bread. This is a piece of bread. Very good. The third word, the third phrase is coming from this, it's an opposite to simple food particles. So what did you see there? Complex food. Very good, very good, very good. So it's opposite to simple food particles, which is complex food. We did have it in the previous slide, complex food. So the last phrase is something that can spread over a wide area. Which phrase is it? That's diffusible molecules. Yeah, diffusible molecules. So we have it here, diffusible molecules. So you saw I used three techniques here. One common technique was that I gave you the meaning and asked you ask for the word or phrase. Second technique was that for the first word, I gave the definition to ask you, I gave you the definition to ask you for the word actually. Then for the second word, because it was not it was a concrete noun, so it was not it didn't have any abstract meaning. So I just gave you the picture and asked you for the word. And for the third, I just used the opposite form, antonyms. So that was an antonym approach. I gave you the antonym, asked you for the actual word. So these three different techniques I used in this vocabulary teaching. So let's move on to another technique here. It's putting the word in the right category technique. So we have 9 words. I have selected these 9 words from one of the textbooks of syntax book board. These are 9 words, and these words are coming from a social studies chapter. So let me show you the social studies chapter as well, so that you have an idea what is going on here. So this is the social studies chapter, and the topic is citizenship. Who is a citizen? So there is text about citizen rights. So I just want my students to understand the citizen rights by reading this text. But I know that there will be some words which will hurdle their understanding. And in order to clarify, I'm just going to do this activity. I'm going to ask the students to put these words in the right category. So these are 4 different categories. So the first one is encouraged by law, discouraged by law, lifestyle, punishments. So what is that encouraged by law? What is that discouraged by law? Then what is that a part of lifestyle? And then what is a part of punishment? Okay, remember one thing. You can put one phrase into 2 categories as well. So there aren't hard and fast rules. They don't get confused. You can say, yeah, this and that. Or they can be only single category. So let's start this activity. So the first word is legally recognized. Which category would you like to put in? Encouraged by law. Yeah. If something is legally recognized, that means it is encouraged by law, not discouraged. Life and liberty. What does it refer to? Lifestyle? How about any other category? Is there any possibility? Oh, it is encouraged by law. Yeah, we do. If you talk about the law does talk about liberty. So it means it is encouraged by law. Very good. Then we have security. Oh, many answers. Encouraged by law. Good. Arbitrary arrest and exile. Arbitrary arrest. Encouraged or discouraged by law. I have some comments saying that encouraged by law. Look at the word arbitrary. Okay, let me ask you one question. If someone has arrested you for the personal grudge, it takes the law in the hand and gets you arrested, what type of arrest it is? Arbitrary arrest. So it means it's not according to the law, it's for someone's personal enmities. It's for their own wish. It's arbitrary arrest. So do you think it should be encouraged or discouraged by law? We'll read it in the text, don't worry. Okay, fair wages. Encouraged by law, very good. Prosperity. Yeah, lifestyle, very good. Then we have standards of living. Lifestyle, very good, very good. Protection, encouraged by law, very good. Slavery and detention, discouraged by law, very good. Nice answers. So let me show you the text as well so that you read and understand the text as well and see if these words are going to help you somehow understanding this text. Yes. So who would like to volunteer reading? Yeah, we had some hands raising. Yeah, the Rashidabad, please.
Okay, thank you. Who is a citizen?
Zahir,
A
please
person?
start.
Yes. Can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Zahir, just your mic
Hello.
is
Can you
on.
hear?
You can start reading. Can you see my
Can you
screen, by
hear
the
me?
way?
Okay. Who is a citizen? A person who is a legally recognized resident of a particular country and who has rights because of being born there, or a person who lives in a particular town or city is called citizen. And classification of rights. Broadly, the rights can be classified as follows. Civil rights. The civil rights are mainly associated with the life and liberty of a citizen. It includes security of the person and protection from physical violence, torture, and inhuman treatment. Civil rights describes that no person can be arbitrarily uh, arrested and exiled. It protects citizens from illegal slavery and detention. These rights prohibits for interference in one's privacy and rights of ownership. Civil rights also include a restriction of one's freedom of movement and freedom of thought. These rights promote free practicing of religion. Political rights.
Okay,
The
so
extraction
okay,
of
let's stop. Let's stop. We had a kind of discussion before. I was asking whether arbitrary arrest and exile is encouraged or discouraged by law. So, what's your opinion now? Everyone's opinion now. Is it encouraged by law or discouraged by law? We have the comments. Discouraged by law. Because arbitrary arrest is not, according to law, it's your personal enmity, isn't it? It's discouraged by law. So these are a couple of techniques that I have shared with you, and there are many more. And let's look at the last one. This is my favorite. And this is very student-centered. So when we talk about learner-centered reading and learner-centered learning, so this is going to work a lot. So here, the whole role is in the student's hand, not teachers, not facilitators. You know about extensive reading, by the way, extensive reading for vocabulary building. So extensive reading is a type of reading in which we're reading for pleasure. We read for pleasure, actually. We don't read to do a particular task. It's only to gain the pleasure by reading. So we read stories. We read even, sometimes we read textbooks to take the pleasure, to feel the pleasure, because there are topics that interest us and due to which students like to read them on their own when they're home. So this extensive reading can help a lot in many ways. Okay, so what are you gonna do with this activity? We need to assign a chapter to each student. Every student gets an assignment from science, English, social studies, or any book in English. Okay, after that, ask them to read to understand the chapter that have been assigned. Okay, so if you have given them a chapter from science book that is digestive system, ask them to read on their own and follow the KWL. I really like that chart, KWL chart. Follow that KWL chart, which I can show you on internet as well. It's available on internet too, KWL chart. Those who don't know about it, you can find it here by just writing KWL, okay? So this is the KWL chart. What I know, what I want to know, and what I have learned, okay? And the topic can be written here. Ask them to do this task, okay? After that, assign them to find meanings of at least 5 new words from that chapter. So while reading, they may have encountered a lot of new words. So they can check the meanings of those words in online dictionaries. So there are a lot of online dictionaries, such as Cambridge. Yeah, mark the attendance of, we're going to send you the feedback form. Okay, so by submitting the feedback form, you will get the certificate. So I hope that you are going to get it in a while. Okay, so I'm going to give you at the end of the session, I'm going to give you the feedback link. Don't worry about it. Okay, so the feedback link is there in the chat box. You can see it. Okay, so assign them to find the meanings of at least 5 new words from the chapter. Okay, and then ask them to peer teach the selected words. Peer teach means they will teach their peers, their classmates the words that they have found from the chapter. Okay, it can be any chapter, just like this. This is a chapter. For example, I asked my students to read this chapter on their own and understand the useful information. And at the same time, if they come across some new words, check the meaning in the dictionary and teach the words to their classmates. So I have 20 students in my class, and everybody reads a different chapter from different books. And they want to, at the end of the day, they want to summarize the story to their friends, to their classmates. After reading this whole chapter, what they're going to do, they will summarize, they will give the summary presentation to the whole class. After giving the summary presentation, they will teach the 5 words that they learn from this chapter. And it is said, learning is at its peak when you learn by teaching. So in order to teach those 5 words to their classmates, they will have to do some good studies. To clarify, after clarifying their own concept, they will be able to teach those words to their classmates. So this will take their learning to the next level, and this will be very much student-centered, isn't it? Malika, hi from Morocco. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So this is the approach that I've given you. And the last point here is that to give summary presentation. Any questions about this activity? Okay, so let's look at this whole activity. What do we do first? We assign a chapter to the students, then ask them to read and understand, then find 5 words from the chapter, then peer teach the selected words and give the summary presentation to the classmates. So it's completely learner-centered. Everything is coming from learners. So anybody who would like to add their comments here? It's okay, it's okay. So, before we end, I just want your feedback, your comments on these activities. And if you would like to share anything from your side that you have and you would like to share with others. Okay, my last question before I go, before we end this session, the last question to everyone is, what is the advantage of asking students to find the meaning on internet? What is the best advantage? What is the biggest advantage of finding the meaning on the internet? Walaikum salam. Walaikum salam.
Sir, the basic advantage is to increase their vocabulary.
Yes, yes. Where are you? Nisar.
Yes, sir. I am from Ipurkhas.
Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead. The basic advantages?
Sir, the basic advantage is their increase their knowledge.
Any other advantage you have on your mind? If they
Uh,
find the meaning on internet, not paper dictionary, what will be the best advantage of finding the words on internet?
so the basic advantage is that they will communicate easily, and they will find if they find will on net through, they can remember.
So yeah, your comment is good. And Saida Saima says that they learn it for life. They will never forget. Good. How about
Yes, sir.
pronunciation? How about pronunciation? I read some people talked about learning pronunciation in this session. Although this session is not about learning pronunciation, but when we talk about learning vocabulary, we need to keep in mind pronunciation as well. So when we learn from online dictionaries, we not only learn the words, the meaning of the words, we also learn the pronunciation of the words. So the real pronunciation. So most of the time when we come across a new word in a textbook, we just pronounce it the way we can and the way we assume or the way we heard someone. But later on in our college, in our university, or maybe when we go abroad, we come across the correct pronunciation, then we feel embarrassment. Yeah, I mislearned it earlier. Now I learned the correct pronunciation. So we can learn the correct pronunciation by learning the words online. So if we come across any new word in the textbook, we can ask the students to check the meaning as well as pronunciation on internet so that they not only learn the meaning, but pronunciation too. Yeah, tongue twisters are great ways to improve pronunciation. Very good. Yeah, they also improve the focus. If students have a lot of distraction, so they can do tongue twisters to improve their focus and fluency. So once you are done with the feedback form, raise your hands and write done in the chat box so that we acknowledge it.
So far we have received 8 feedback forms. So जो नहीं देंगे, they will not get the certificate.
Yes, yes. So those who don't submit the feedback form, they won't be able to get the certificate. So please submit the feedback form so that you get the certificate too.
Sir, we have submitted.
Submitted. Good, good. Anyone else who hasn't submitted yet? Please do submit so that we send you the certificate.
Certificates and the PowerPoint presentation as well.
Yes, you will get the PowerPoint presentation as well because some of you asked for the presentations. Thank you, thank you.
Malika, I hope you have submitted form, feedback form, because you joined quite late.
Okay, so that's the end of the session. We're just ending it. Thank you for being with us and contributing your part in this learning experience. We'll definitely come with new topics to have sort of collaborative learning. So keep in touch with us. Thank you.